Hello, this is Kwame and then welcome to the Basic Financial Framework. So today what I want to start with is talking to you about budgeting, and I want to expose some of the struggles that not just you all, but I know I faced when I started trying to get my budgeting done for myself and my family. In fact, when this whole thing about budgeting came about, I thought it was going to be easy until I realized that budgeting is not that easy like people say. And I know most of you out there experience the same struggles that I did. When I started this off, I started actually with the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. And they talked about budgeting, writing all your expenses down, living and spending your money according to those expenses. I thought it was going to be easy. I sat down with my wife, we wrote down all of our expected expenses, went through a month. After we went through the first month, I realized that number one, so many unexpected bills hit my accounts, it threw me off. It was so hard to stick to the budget, and just even the conversations were getting intense because you realize that life is not as straightforward as it is. So budgeting was really it was a big struggle for us. So through that journey, I came up over the years, I would try different things because one thing I knew for sure is I need to organize. I need to find a way to organize my finances. But as I kept going, I realized that it was harder than I thought. So I kept trying different things because quitting was not an option for me. So it took me over a decade. It seriously took me over a decade to really understand what budgeting is. So here's what I did that made a difference for my wife and I. We realized that the key to budgeting was prioritization, understanding what is most important to us. There's one of my favorite books is called by Reverend Steve Covey or Dr. Steve Covey's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about first things first. I realized that I need to really put the most important things first before I get to the things that are less important. And so when I started gaining traction on my budgeting was when I started prioritizing the expenses that are most important to us. We made sure we paid first. So that worked for a while. But even though I was putting the most important expenses like my rent or maybe my car loans or anything like your groceries, those things that I feel like they're essential to my family, and I was spending on them first and I was getting all the other things later, I was gaining traction, yes, but I was still not finding a solution. Because what will happen sometimes is 27th, I have the rent money in my account, I'm ready to go, everything is set up. Then some expense that I wasn't even expecting to come out, let's say Netflix or something that I'm not really looking forward to, comes in and hits my account and then takes it to below the amount of money I needed for rent. Now, when my rent is coming in, it's either going to bounce or I'm going to go to negative, and it will throw off all my planning. So yes, I was prioritizing, but it still wasn't the perfect system I need. So over time, then I came up with a framework that has really worked for the past many years. I think it's been over 7 years I've been using this, and it's worked greatly. It hasn't only worked well for me. Everybody that I've introduced this framework to has found success in it. And so in this video, I would like to show you how that works. And it's very simple, but you have to do it to really see the impact. So the first thing is I have my budgeting divided into 4 sections. That's what I do. I divide to 4 sections. I have all of the things that I told you, priority, things that are really important to me, and then they are the same amount every month. I call them the core and essential expenses, the repetitive but essential expenses. Those are all my mortgage, if I have a car loan, or if you are paying on insurance. Those amounts are the same every month. They don't change, but they are really important to the lifestyle of my family. I put them in a bucket 1 and I put them in a savings account. So every month I know that each month I need a specific amount in that savings account. For example, in this month I need $1,000 that will cover my mortgage, my rent. It's a specific amount and that goes to that savings account. Only those transactions come out of that account. I don't do anything else with that account. all the transactions that are key to me, that are essential to my lifestyle, but are the same each month, go into that account. Those are the only things that come out of that account. Then what I did was, my second bucket, I used a credit card. And this requires a special level of discipline, but I'm just telling you how my budget journey has been transformed. So if it works for you, you can also apply the same principle. But not everybody is good with credit card. It requires discipline. But what it did for me was, I have a specific credit card, for example, groceries. So I call them the things that are essential, but they are not the same each month. So you think about groceries, you think about gas, even utility bills. These are things that I need, and my family needs them. It's important for me, but it changes each month. Sometimes I spend more on gas, sometimes I spend less, sometimes. Then I have a house credit card I use for that. Each month, all of those expenses come from that credit card and nothing else. Just that. And because they come out of there, then I know how much I need to put back on that card. Of course, I have an estimate in my mind, but because it's not exact amount, I use the credit card, because sometimes I may spend more on gas, sometimes I may spend less. But each month I pay off that card. I never leave it unpaid. I pay it off. So I have, number one, my savings account for the fixed and essential expenses. Then number two, I have my essential expenses but variable. They change each month. So those are the two important. So remember, I started off with priorities. So those were the most important expenses to me. Then I come to the next set. Then I have my things that are fixed, but they were not so important to me, like my Netflix, my HBO account. Those things, it depends on the lifestyle you lead. It could be Planet Fitness, it could be important or not. But I had those expenses that I knew I don't need to live, but I want them. Those are not essential, but I want them. I put all of those on a card, and then I still have a card that cannot overdraw. Why do I do that? Because those are repetitive accounts, right? So for example, my Netflix comes out every month. It's the same amount that comes out that Netflix charges me. But what I realized over the years was, when I was doing my budgeting, when I tried to cancel a card, it was so hard, especially if it's something I signed up that at the time I thought I wanted, now I don't want it. I'm canceling it, taking me. You can't even get somebody to talk to on the phone. But now by putting it on this card that's not overdraw, what started happening was, if I don't want to use the account anymore, I don't put money on the card. And then that means they cannot withdraw. They will email me and say, hey, your account, but I don't want it anymore. So then I now don't have to call them to cancel. I was in control. That was one of the key things, control. So keep that word in mind. You want to be the one that determines where your money goes. So my third bucket was all expenses that I wanted. They are non-essential, but I wanted them, but they are fixed. They come out the same amount. I put them on that card. And then the last bucket, the fourth bucket, was things that I wanted. They are non-essential, but they are different amounts, like going to the movies, eating out, hanging out with friends. I just used cash for those things, and I always kept those things cash. So when I divided my budget into these four categories, it gave me control. And for the past few years, this is what I've been doing. And then I don't have to always write everything down. It's just a simple, easy system. I know all my essentials are taken care of, and I know my non-essentials are not messing up the things that are important to me. So my Netflix account is not making my mortgage bounce, or my the movie thing that I'm going to is not messing me up on my utility bill. Those are the important things. The money for that is available. All of that is taken care of. And then everything else that I don't need, I work through. So hopefully this helps you. Let me know if you have questions. And I cover this thoroughly in my book, The Basic Financial Framework, A Financial Transformation Journey. So you can pick one and then you see the details of all of these things that I talk about. Thank you.